Hi, and welcome back. In this video, we will deep dive on the definition of ready. Similar to the sprint burndown chart, a definition of ready is technically not a real artifact as part of the Scrum framework. But similar to the sprint burndown chart, I see a lot of teams using a definition of ready. So what is it and how do you benefit from it? Very similar to a definition of done, the definition of ready is basically a checklist that creates a shared understanding about our product backlog items. Contrary to the definition of done, the definition of ready does not describe what needs to be done in order to move something to the done column. It actually describes what needs to be done with regards to a product backlog item to make sure that it is ready for the developers to select it as part of sprint planning from the product backlog into their sprint backlog. In most cases, a definition of ready is co-created by a product owner and the developers, because ultimately all of them need to be involved. All of them are part of creating the product backlog items and making sure that they reach a state that the developers believe is ready for them to select and move those items from the product backlog into the sprint backlog. Ultimately, it should be the developers who decide whether an item meets the definition of ready. So this is contrary to the definition of done, where that final decision should be with the product owner. A lot of teams create their definition of ready according to the INVEST acronym. INVEST stands for the following things: I for independent, N for negotiable, V for valuable, E for estimatable, S for sized appropriately or small, and T for testable. Once you look at all of these things, you basically end up with a checklist of everything you need to take care of or everything that you need to look for in your product backlog items that you are refining as part of your product backlog refinement. Once all of those characteristics are met, an item can be considered as ready, which means that developers can easily select them as part of their sprint planning and can work on them and actually deliver a product increment at the end of their sprint. I hope this brief video gave you a great understanding of what the definition of ready is, how you can create it using the INVEST acronym, and how you can ultimately benefit from that shared understanding between the developers and the product owner. See you in our next video.